Bitch, let's talk. So if you are a Baltimorean, this is going to be very exciting for you. And if you're in Virginia, you're probably hanging yourself. But the biggest upset in NCAA history, UMBC, the 16th seed, beat Virginia, which is in the number one spot. And if people don't know about University of Maryland, Baltimore County, it's an amazing school. It's actually an honors university. They have the number one chess team in the country. They're not known for their sports. They're known for their academia. Mm-hmm. And also UMBC is the only school that has the most graduating MDs and PhDs for Black people. Oh, wow. So
True great.
Jordan actually attends UMBC, so I know this is very exciting for him and very exciting for Baltimore to give some positive news. Can you imagine hearing that? Jordan called me screaming True Grit, and I really didn't know what was happening. And then I saw it, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is
major."
Major.
I forgot about that.
I was like, what kind of miracle juice were they drinking? I feel like it's like a Space Jam story, for real. It's a true Space Jam story.
So this is my question. Since I didn't see the game, I just heard that they won. What was the score? Was it a close game? Or?
No, they lost by 20.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was something crazy.
Wow. So they crushed them.
That is something extremely crazy. How you get beat by them?
Yeah.
What were y'all doing?
Dang.
Maybe, really, they may have that Space Jam water that Michael Jordan gave those little cartoons. So, shout out to
Magic What was it?
Water.
It was?
Preferably, maybe
it actually was water, but
it was water.
Something.
It was something special, but it was really just water from a sea.
They've been drinking it water.
Maybe you need a little bit of lead or something. Maybe the tap water is good for you. But shout out to them for doing that. That's very exciting. I don't really know how the president is going to feel about this. I feel like he's happy and angry because UMBC is known to not be a sports school. And they purposely do not have a football team because he doesn't want the culture. He really wants students to focus on academia. So I know he's probably yes, but then he's like, shit. Because now there's going to be a certain level of expectation, oh shit, people are going to start really being into sports. But either way, it's really, really good. And all the people who lost their money, I'm sorry for you. And the people in Virginia, we're going to say a prayer for you because I know you're going through a hard time. So
hurt.
Really hurt. More exciting news. I don't know if this is really exciting. Tamara Braxton decided to cut all her hair off. So she's a bald head
baby. I didn't know why. I
really feel like when Britney Spears went through her moment of her crisis when we were younger, as an adult, I really feel her pain. I don't know why she had an umbrella and was hitting the SUV, but I completely understand her transformation of fuck this shit.
No, it's simple. I blame Wakanda.
That's an interesting point.
I absolutely love that scene where I just thought it was so powerful, that whole scene, and I love that actress when she just literally was and I don't know, something about that scene where she just had that moment where get this, she was so about I'm beautiful
as I am.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought that was, I love her.
Yeah, so she did say that she was tired of feeling captive of a wig and her weave and people's comments and opinion, and she just wants to be free from her hair.
That's very different for Tamar because we're so used to her being diva, this and that, over the top. I got this, I got that. So
I think it's different for her. I think her husband cheating on her and just the upset of what's going on in her life.
She needs to change.
She needs
to rebirth. You know what? That does happen. Women go through their little thing and they need to change.
Let me tell you, men. If a woman starts to lose a lot of weight and she cuts her hair, she's done with you. She's done with niggas like you. She's in a whole different phase of her life. So you and niggas like you are completely out of the picture. Because I really feel like when you cut your hair off, it's just a certain level of rebirth,
but
a new beginning.
I wonder how she feels because her son is the exact splitting image of him, so she sees him every day.
Yeah,
Vince, in her son.
I would be petty and just swirl her all the time now. I just feel like when you have that, that's what you should do. Maybe that's just me being petty. But shout out to Tamar. I really hope that whatever reason that she decided to cut her hair, I hope the blessings will rain upon her and whatever rebirth that she's trying to walk into. I hope that works out.
She can't go back now.
No, and then that in between stage is gonna be really rough.
Yeah.
That Brillo pad phase and like the
she
baby
might have good hair.
I don't know. When you start working on your face, I feel like other things are messed up too.
Their hair.
Huh? What? I'm just feeling like when you have like plastic surgery, I feel like there's other things that need to be worked on as well. So I feel like if she looks like Kermit the Frog, I also feel like her hair is messed up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Next.
That's mean. But she shouldn't have messed with her face.
Yeah, she shouldn't have done that either. I feel like all of them did. I feel like they all went to the same doctor and was like, let me get a number one. I want to look just like that. So. But shout out to her. I hope that, works out for her.
Team natural.
Yeah, she real natural. Like, it don't get no more natural than that. Like, she literally doesn't even have to do anything. Like, put some baby oil on it. And just walk it out the door.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad on her.
She has the perfect head for it. Like, my head is way too big to get a regular.
Either of us.
No, that would be a struggle for real. But she has like one of those cute little circle heads, and her ears like match it. So like, it's really cute. So. So Snapchat decides to fuck up and do some really weird surveys. So they had this game called Would You Rather, and it was like, would you rather punch Chris Brown or slap Rihanna?
What?
And it was like making fun of the domestic violence dispute that they had in like 2008 or 9, whatever the hell it was. And so Rihanna was pissed about it, and because she was like, delete this app, Snapchat has plummeted in sales by 4%. Meaning they have lost literally almost $800 million by people deleting the app and boycotting it. So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Snapchat. I like Snapchat.
I don't like the new one.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah, who thought that was a good idea?
That's not even trending. Like, we're so off of that. Like, why are we still talking about Rihanna and Chris Brown? Like, even they're done talking about themselves, about that situation. Yeah. So what the fuck? Come on, Snapchat. And that new updated version you got is trash.
I hate
it. So you really are on the way of bankruptcy, because that's just fucking stupid. Not only did you...
No comment.
Not only did you just fuck up, like...
You have it.
Well, no, you're not missing out on anything. But it's just disrespectful to say, like, any of that. Why would you want to hit either one of them? Like, I feel like that's just so inappropriate. And people who are really going through domestic issues, it's just, you're being so insensitive about it. Like, what the fuck? So they issued an apology, and they're stating that they're going to do an investigation, womp, womp, womp. But they going to fuck up. You can't fuck with Ree. Like, she has 60 million Instagram followers. Yeah. And she said delete the app, and she feels some kind of way. You know those people will do anything for her. So stop trying to get your shit together and revert back to your old shit, because whatever you got going on is some trash. I don't know who is your designer. I don't know who you're talking to. But you need to fire them and go back to how things were, because I don't like it personally. So shout out to Rihanna for standing up for herself and not don't let entities disrespect you like that. Because Snapchat is popping, but who fucking cares? You're not gonna disrespect me in my situation like that. So get it together, Snapchat. So people who watch The Breakfast Club, I love The Breakfast Club. There was a situation with DJ Envy and Deuces and Mero. So whatever. Your mother didn't name me that, so whatever. And the issue with DJ Envy was they had their own little show on Vice, and DJ Envy was with his wife, Gia, and they were on The Real, and they were talking about when he cheated. And so she was saying, like, I don't know DJ Envy, I know Rashad, and so, what's his name, Desus?
Yeah.
Desus.
I think it was
These nuts.
Not Gia.
I think these.
No, it's Gia.
For real?
I think it's Gia. Or
I don't really know her name. But Gia or Gia.
Let's call it Gia.
Gia sounds better. Yeah.
I know that Gia spells it exactly like that.
But I really felt like they said Gia. Whoever, the light-skinned woman.
Well, they said she said she doesn't know DJ Envy in the streets,
but she knows Rashad.
And then they
said she know DJ Envy checks though.
Ooh. Right. So basically implying that she's only staying with him
for the money.
So DJ Envy, he got very, very upset.
He was very
But he
light-skinned.
waited until they invited them onto their show, The Breakfast Club, Desus and Mero, and then
ambushed them. I really and the thing is,
funny to me.
it's been an argument because I've seen a lot of people talk about it on Facebook, and people have been talking to me about it, and they're like, "How do you feel about it?" My thing is that is your wife, protect her and defend her, but. You know these people personally, and if you felt offended in that moment, why didn't you call them as soon as you heard it?
Right. And
why would you wait months after to contact someone? And then the shit that really pissed me off is when he introduced them. He introduced them as pussy and dickhead.
So that's some childish stuff right there.
First
and
of
I
all,
honestly think DJ Envy is very childish, and that move
he's
that he
light-skinned.
went through. Yeah, and it was a real.
What they say, beige
no
rage?
Offense. No offense. Wow. It's a very light skin moment that he had, and the fact that he got up
and walked out on the interview
after 5 minutes,
very
after he said his
disrespectful.
point. What more do you want from them? They said they were sorry. They didn't know that he took it that way. And then he was still that, like, you was that upset. Like, that's what they do for their job. So it's like, they make fun of people. They crack jokes. That's what they do. I just don't understand why he was that upset and waited.
He's a lame. That was a lame revenge
Very
plot
lame.
anyway.
The
Like,
fact
you really plotting, and that's what you come up
Yes.
with.
Like, he was waiting for that moment.
That's
So
what
I
you
was
come
really
up with?
laughing. And I was just like, I can't
I just
take him serious right
I lost
now.
some respect for him.
Yeah,
because
I
I
don't
feel
like
like
him
if you wanna defend your wife, then you defend her with true honor. You don't disrespect people and wait till time is passed to, approach them in that manner. And then the way you introduce somebody, you introduce somebody in a disrespectful manner, and they don't even know what the hell is going on. So what if they were sensitive because Desus is light skinned and he would have felt some type of way and punched Yo in the mouth, or he would have wowed him out, and we wouldn't even been able to.
But they were trying to make amends.
Light of it, yeah, of course.
And the fact that he went that route, it was just like, okay. Like they said, how they feel like if they come back on the show a month later or whatever, is he gonna do the same shit? Like, why? What was your point of that? And then just like Charlamagne, like with Charlamagne and Monique had her problem, her issue. I mean, they still kept it civilized, like all the way through. You address the issue, you say sorry, you apologize, you do whatever, and keep it moving. But DJ Envy shouldn't have came on the show, like they said. Like, if he knew that he didn't like them or whatever, he had beef with them, he should have just stayed home.
The bitch shit is if you a real man, you approach them as men.
Yeah.
And you approach them after the situation has aired. So as soon as you saw them, that should have been a phone call. That should have been, hey, let's meet up somewhere. Let's FaceTime. You want to apologize to my wife, like, right now. You're not going to let shit fester.
Yes.
Because now it seems like disingenuous because you ambush your own guest and then you walk the fuck up off of your own show. Like, that makes no sense to me. And I feel like
it makes you look stupid. Now, I don't know if this is a publicity stunt or not. Because
that's what the guy from
I never
Hot
even
99
heard of,
said.
I never even heard of Desus and Meryl before
I didn't hear about
this thing.
today.
I just heard right. I just heard about it. Like, I watched The Breakfast Club and
but see,
it was going
I've
around that
them.
he
They've
walked
been
out.
popping.
Yeah, they were
they
popping,
had their own podcast,
but
and they
if
got
you looked
their own
at the
now.
number of views, like, The Breakfast Club, they normally get 1 million views, but some people don't get that much. If you don't know them, they probably get 200,000, 500,000, whatever. But the fact that they had that many views in that short period of time, I was like, that was kind of like a good.
But I don't think the only reason I would disagree with that is because they are the number one radio station nationwide. So for them, the Breakfast Club. So for them to do something that would be
because I think normally not staged in a sense, but normally I think in that instance something like that, the fact how they got that heated between like their personnel, like DJ Envy and them, and the fact that he's the one that started that, I think in normal instances they would have edited that part out and just would have acted like DJ Envy had to leave, he wasn't here. Like some shows they don't air things like that, but I think they left it on there. Not saying that they did, but they could have left it on there possibly to bring traffic.
But I don't think they really edited the show because, like, when they did the YouTube stuff, even with like Monique, they could have edited a lot of stuff out. Just even the Birdman thing, like they didn't even have to air that. You know what I mean? That was 30 seconds of waste of time, and it was fucking hilarious because like who
but
does
it's like
shit
you
like
put that stuff on there because you getting the views, and they still at the end of the day they still getting checks by like paid advertisements. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is like if you're trying to really show authenticity and this is what happens behind the scenes, like I think it's better for you to show when people feel some kind of way.
I'm just saying, like, if DJ Emmy was really that upset. I mean,
I
The
just
fact
really
he
think he's a
didn't
light
go
skinned
about
nigga, and I
it.
don't think he just thought things through. I don't think it was like a stage
Yeah.
plot where it's like when these
no,
two
I'm
niggas
not
go
saying
here,
that it was staged. I'm just saying that
no,
I
he
feel
just
like they
was
would have
with
edited
beige
it out.
rage, and he didn't know what the hell to do with himself,
Yeah.
and and he just acted a damn fool.
Yeah, but yeah, he lost.
And but
respect
to Desus and Mero because they really handle it.
Yeah, they handled it right.
Respectfully and
But they
with
were
class.
after they was getting on my nerves after a while when they kept making jokes like, "Oh, I'm sorry to this person."
But that was Charlamagne and Angela
Yeah.
Lee like keep
Charlamagne was
They
messed
can't get
up.
upset. They're clowns. That's what they
Charlamagne
do.
was messed up.
Charlamagne's hilarious. I love that.
Angela was trying to be a peacemaker.
Of course, she always is. But I mean, shout out to them because, like I said, like that energy could have been in a whole different light because of.
Well, DJ Envy ain't fighting nobody.
But when you're filled with beige rage, I think it's just different, a different type of
But
energy.
he removed himself from a situation, so it didn't go that route.
Yeah.
So you could.
But you started off wrong, so it's like you already fucked up.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like I wanna get an apology, but then you punch somebody in the face. Like how is this gonna work? Like you started off wrong. You introduced them as dickhead and pussy. Like you didn't even give them the opportunity to be humble and apologize. You just wanted to attack. And so
First
in
of
that
all,
I
who
thought it was
says
petty.
dickhead and pussy?
Light skinned niggas apparently. It's that light skin shit.
All right, but let's.
I'll call you.
I just
You say you call people dickheads?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
dickhead and
like-
pussy.
He's confirming it for his fellow
That's a fair point.
yellow brethren. So
Okay.
shout out to them, Desus
Yeah.
and Mero, for actually being upstanding men. DJ Envy, get your shit together, and I don't know, just grow up. Hang around some dark skinned people, maybe it would rub off on you.
Charlamagne. Well, he's turning like.
Yeah, he is turning
Right.
like day by day. So for our Black Magic this week, I know people are gonna get so tired of me talking about Black Panther, but guess what? Fuck you.
Do it.
Black Panther is number one again, 5th week in a row. This hasn't happened since Avatar, and Avatar is the number 2 movie
Of all time.
So shout out to them. I cannot be happier with Black Panther. If you haven't seen it, see it again. And then see it again.
Yeah.
I want to just keep
How
saying
that
that. Yeah, just keep saying
Yeah.
it.
Stressed.
Until it's like ingrained in your brain. Till you just see Wakanda forever. Like it needs to be ingrained in you. So also shout out to Ava DuVernay. Ryan Coogler and Ava DuVernay are the first 2 Black directors to have top spots in the box office. So they're both from Cali, like from the heart. I think Ryan's from Oakland, Ava's from Compton, and it don't get no worse than that. And the fact that they're both, box office and directors, a lot of times we always give props to the actors, but we never really give credit to our directors. And I think it's really cool to have 2 Black directors killing the box office. But Wakanda forever and ever. And when you get it on DVD, I don't know people even buy DVDs. Just buy
I'm
it.
gonna buy it.
Just buy it.
I'm buy that.
I feel like that's something
Like,
you
I've seen
is like a
somebody get it.
classic,
You have to have
and you need to like box it, like glass it like a pair of Jordans. Like that's important. So shout out to them. I'm really excited about that. Black Panther also just got greenlit for a sequel, which makes absolute fucking sense. Duh. They're officially over $1 billion. Why wouldn't they be? So shout out to them. I'm really excited about all of this and every other door that's going to open because of the success of Black Panther. So for our panel discussion for this week, I'm really excited. So it's Women's Month, and I like to represent female entrepreneurs. So before we get started, introduce our hosts. We have Brittany D. The spirit of Sita.
Yeah.
And Whitney, she's new to the show. Hi, Whitney.
Hello.
And the owner, the creator, this little ball of energy who I love so much, Adelicia.
Hi.
Hello.
She is the owner of Movez Dance Studio. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to do this. It's like I'm watching the show and following, and now I'm like, I'm in here.
So thank you so much for joining us. I actually did a class with her, my friend Apples, who's not with us, but her daughter had a birthday party, and she decided to have like a private dance studio thing. So we did Who Run the World's Girls. And it was so cute. We had the mommies. I'm not a mommy, but I was just invited. And then we had the little girls who did the dance as well. And it was so much fun. She was just so much full of energy and positivity. And she had so much patience because, you know, those kids, Lord. Because it's bad enough they're just themselves. And then you have to teach them how to dance. That's a God gift. So everyone really enjoyed themselves. And it was just really, really fun to be there. So
it was fun. It definitely takes a lot. I always give credit to dance teachers that teach children because you're so right. Their attention span is like always moving. It's a whole nother world to teach that versus teaching adults. So I mainly teach adults, but you can always I always have a great appreciation when I do it with kids.
That's good. Yeah. So how did you, before we get started into actually you owning your own dance studio, like what led up to that?
Interestingly enough, I started late dancing. So usually you hear a lot of dancers that start, 3, 6, maybe 9. I, at the time, was living in inner Baltimore City, and there were no dance schools. My parents, I'm firstborn American, so my parents are both from Latin American countries. And one thing that they really wanted for me was to be able to experience things they didn't have back home. So I remember going to my first dance class when I was I must have been 3 or 4, and I went inside this dance. We took 2 buses to get there, my poor mother. And I went in, and I was the oddball out because I didn't have the look of anyone else. And even that young, I remember feeling awkward from the teacher. And it's one thing when you feel that way with other people, but I felt it from the teacher. I felt like she was like, just try it. But she really, it's like she knew, she's not going to be able to do it. It's just good for it, And I remember, too, at the time, my family's Latin American, so our food is very heavy. I grew up very obese. So
really?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I know.
If you see her now,
I
I can't even imagine you fat.
I have to pull out the pictures, and my cousins Lucita will tell you, I was the big one out of all my family.
I cannot believe that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I literally that was my first experience, and I hated it. I never wanted to dance again. So, and I remember what I would do is, because my parents were really strict, I would stay in my room and I would watch the VHS tapes of Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson.
Yes.
And I would practice literally till I would pass out on the floor. My mom would have to put me in bed. And I just kept doing it. And growing up, I remember I used to see a lot of places in Highlandtown or in Patterson Park, and I used to think, when I was little, you know what, one day I'm going to and I used to tell my parents this, I'm going to have a dance studio, and people are going to go there, and they're going to feel like they can just have fun and experience dance no matter what they look like, what experience they have, if they've done it or not. And that was, honestly, that was my dream as a little girl. So I didn't start where most people do start. And then in high school, I would practice till my feet were bruised and broken. And then in high school, I had the chance to try out for a step team. I got a little bit more courage. I was like, let me try out for this dance team. I got a little more courage. One thing led to another. And then when I went away to school, I did a dance and theater major, double majored in Philly. Temple.
Shout out to Temple.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my big start.
Did you know about Freedom Theater in Philly?
No.
So Freedom Theater was like a arts place, and it probably was closed down now. But me, my cousins, we went there. It's kind of like a generational thing because I wanted to be a dancer when I was younger. Me and Brittany used to do dances all the time.
We would watch
Videos
videos
and
crazy.
That's awesome.
We used to do Sierra and Beyonce, Destiny's Child. Literally, we would learn step by
From the videos.
Yeah.
We would know the exact dance
awesome.
moves.
Yeah, but you would have loved Freedom Theater. It was really, really good. It was they really loved the arts. You had to act, dance, and sing. That is not negotiable. And I did it when I was 5, and it was a lot. Jeez. Yeah, but so it's hearing people who because I think at one point I said I wanted to own my own dance studio. That was a lie. But I was a child. I wanted to be everything.
Oh
Astronaut,
my gosh.
a thousand things.
Very young late, so
I was like, oh, I want to be a scientist. Oh, no, I want to be a marine biologist. And, you know, but I was grateful enough to actually try out to actually see, like, if this is where my passion lies. So what gave you the courage to just say, I'm going to actually live my dream and get a studio?
I'll be honest. I hate admitting it, but I was actually forced into doing it, and I know everybody's like, what? What'd she say? So when I went to Temple, and things at home changed very quickly. By the time I came back, my mom got breast cancer, passed away, and I had to support my family. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do in Baltimore? Because my dream was after I got to college, I was like, ooh, there's a chance I could dance in New York.
Right.
I auditioned for Disney Cruise Lines, and I was actually accepted and ready to start, and then boom, everything changed.
Right.
So I kind of started, I started teaching some local hip hop classes. I did a little bit of salsa, and then I was working for a dance studio, and at the time, there was a gym in the area that was looking for more body jam, those Les Mills programs. I tried it out, and I was like, oh, this is something I can relate to. I hate the gym, but I like the dancing part. So, yeah. So I was like, I can do this, you know. So I wound up training for a couple different programs, and that kind of led me to actually work as a presenter to teach other instructors for the Zumba programs.
Okay.
And then I was a presenter for their annual convention that they have to train instructors. But I felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect during my last year being a presenter there. It still wasn't what I wanted. It still wasn't dance. And they were going the direction of fitness. It took one experience to make me realize in like 2011 that I was like, you know what, I want to do my own thing, which then got me to create the Movez dance fitness program. So it's more based on dancing rather than an 8-hour instructor's they're not allowed to say certification anymore, licensing. So I was like, you know what, like, this is what I want to do. I want to train people, but I want them to know their shit. Like, I want to make sure that the quality is not, like, over quantity, or is over quantity, sorry. So the classes got so, like, popular that my younger brother, who was literally helping me because I was creating work for him and myself, he was like, we got to do something, you know. He was always good with numbers. I'm good at dancing. I can't do math for anything. So I'm so bad. And he, at some point, you know, we had to talk to 3 different facilities that the owners came back to us and said, you know, we've done pretty much, and I hate to say it, but now that I'm older, I see it for what it is. They were bullying us, saying, you know, we did a lot to make you guys grow, you know, but they're not paying for the scheduling fees, they're not paying for the insurance for our classes, they're not paying for anything, you know, and that stuff, you know, at some point we were like, do you want to do this? And I was like, yes, I want to do this. Like, let's just do it. It was like growing so well. So I wound up getting my first studio, and I'll be honest, I went into it with the idea that, like, I just want to dance. I just want to offer classes. Now I can have the opportunity to teach people. And I was absolutely 100% wrong. Wow. When you own a studio, when you own a business, I feel like, and please stop me at any point, I'm just kind of ranting. I started finding less time to teach because, for example, in one day, let's say you're going into a class and you're going to teach, you're excited, you're amped up, you're like, oh, I got this choreography, oh, they're going to love this. Somebody's going to grab you at the counter and say, hey, there's a problem with my account, can you come check this? You might have front desk staff, but they might not know how to do it. So now you gotta, now you're in a different world. Now there's sockets that are not working in the bathroom. Now guess what? Now you need to find someone else to teach your class. When the fire department's coming and knocking, when, you gotta pay for like all these XYZs, I little by little had less and less time teaching, and becoming a business owner was some hard lessons learned in my 20s that like I didn't realize it, but they were good lessons. And it was tricky because I think I'm not a corporation. Right. I started off as a small business with way too much business to handle. So, you know, my brother, thank God for my brother. He's my younger brother, but he's like my big brother because he's literally been the one that always ran the back of the house, right. You know? So he would be the person to say, you know, because in my heart, I'm like, I want to teach everybody. I want, you know, the mom to come with her kids, and I want this and that, you know, and my brother's literally the one who say, you know, like, listen, if you don't get 5 more people to get memberships, we're closing next month. That's a different perspective when you were like, but I want to give classes to people who can't afford it. I want to do this kind of event to help people with Susan G. Komen fundraisers and this and that. So, you know, it's another idea when every month you've got to pay a $5,000 to $10,000 bill. Yeah. And you're not bringing home any of that. Wow. So people see, you know, sometimes I see these business owners and they're having a great time, but their employees are not happy. And that's one thing that I've been told over and over again is that my instructors and my staff has always, they've literally stuck with me for 10 years because I always put them first. Mm-hmm. I've taken on as many as 4 jobs at once to make sure the studio bills are paid, they're paid, and I've made nothing. Wow. So it's a different dynamic. And it's different, I guess, for any different business owner.
But that's normally how it is. That's why, you know, 50% of businesses fail within the first 3 years because they either are breaking even or they are paying so much for the business aspect of it, and then it's like paying the CEO. What's that? You know, right. So it's like, you know, you really don't see your return investment until, you know, some time has passed. Yeah. You know, and so it's really challenging, but you stuck with it, and so that's amazing. So what about Move's Dance Studio? Like, what does that actually consist of?
So when we started, we were a studio. We had essentially it was a building that had 5 different studio rooms, and my vision was to have the moves class in one, have hip hop in another, have a kids program in another. Each room have something dedicated. We had at one point we had Broadway Beats, which was a class just with Broadway songs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so all the different genres. I had an African instructor. She brought in a djembe group.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was great. But if there's one hard lesson I've also learned, when you get a business, location is everything.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's for everything.
Yeah. And I won't mention the area I had it in, but it was literally my real estate agent when I was looking to move. She told me, she's like, honey, she's like, if you want to make money here, you need to open a Krispy Kreme. Because that is my demographic. Yeah. Like, you're not going to make money in this area. And she was absolutely right. So I actually transitioned my studio. We did a whole studio move, and I did it with no money. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I sold every piece of furniture I had for paint, for flooring, for literally built it. I have pictures of this place with like holes in the wall, like from scratch, because if I did the work, it would have been cheaper to get in there. Right. At the same time, a corporation built a brand new shiny new gym right next to that studio. Mm-hmm. So it was the next, again, a couple of rough 5 years, but I guess because of the quality, a big thing I heard a lot was, we like that your program is not smoke and mirrors. It's not like this shiny building. It's not like lights everywhere and then the instructor is like subpar. Mm-hmm. They're always happy. They always felt like the quality was great. And not if I'm teaching. Because that's a big thing is when you're in the dance world, you can only, and you can dance forever. But at some point, you want to have people under you to start taking the body workload. Right. So that was one thing. And again, that was a big thing. Yeah, see, I said it's a question. Yeah.
I mean, no, you kind of answered some questions. You kind of like went past one of my first questions when you were talking about like you taught Zumba, like to get your instructor's
to get
license.
That license.
So yeah, I just went through the Zumba thing, and I thought it was gonna be different, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But I mean, it was
a true dancer statement.
Yeah. It just wasn't what I thought it was. Just like what you said, the whole fitness aspect of it, and I thought I was gonna get something out of it that, like you said, for a dancer. But so my another question was back to the Moves dance studio. So do you still do different genres, and like what was your? Because you say you started late, so what was your like main like specialty of dance that you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go backwards. My specialty. Well, a lot of people see me, and unfortunately, they're like, "Oh, she salsas."
That's not racist at all.
I know, right?
But it's true.
But it's true.
And it's funny because there's a big difference from what you see in the club to what you learn growing up. Like from like a Puerto Rican style salsa is not flip, split, check, and like do all these fancy. They literally like swoon and sway. It's a totally. So for me, I actually had to learn the
technical way.
The colonized way of salsa.
Colonizer.
That's what it is.
Colonizer.
Because it's
not the street way.
Yes, yeah,
The American way.
exactly. Yeah, so I knew like authentic salsa, but I'm Puerto Rican and
Right.
Caribbean, and like I had to learn salsa to be able to dance in the club the way the general public does now that it's more modernized and things like that. But yeah, so that's just something I do. But my strengths were always in modern and African. And then from there, I did everything else. The hip hop, I didn't train in that. I actually trained first in modern and African and then took lessons in hip hop. Yeah.
Okay.
And then...
So what classes do you offer now? Like...
So when we had the studio, we were offering an array of things. Now actually I'm actually learning to fall in love with what I do again. Because I don't have this burden of, okay, this needs to be this. I still got some burdens.
We all got burdens.
But yeah,
that's not gonna go away.
Yes. Oh, yes. And especially if you don't live in somewhere like Florida or California or New York. I mean, it is hard. It's like an up and down scale. You see it in all the gyms. But now we primarily offer the Moves Dance Fitness program, and then we have 2 offsets of that, which are the Afro Beats, which is all of our moves routines that are African based, modern, not just West African, and that's in one class. And then we have Soca Sweat, which is like a Caribbean dance.
Yes, you better Soca Sweat.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's definitely opened up really great door. We have people that come once a week just for those classes. And again,
They be sweating too. I just see her Instagram. Them women be looking tired and beat up. So you be working them out.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time. But yes, you be drenched. And then we also offer bar classes. But again, our bars.
What does that consist of? Because I feel like that's more colonized shit. Because like, what is that? Like, what the hell is a bar class?
It's so funny because I feel bad saying this, but me and a couple of dancers that I know, we have this joke running, and we'll hashtag like we don't squeeze balls. I'm sorry,
Neither do we.
Because we've
Bring it back.
we've gone. I promise it makes sense in a second.
Please let her finish.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
Like what? So originally bar is like the first. It could be the first 30 to 45 minutes of a ballet class, and it's all like tightening, toning. You're drenched just doing that, but you're not using any props. You are literally at a bar. You might be doing work.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
bar.
So I appreciate that. So what are those other people doing?
So there's a new, it's like a gym fad, you know, and like pilates, karate chop, like everything into one.
Jesus.
But in this, you know, I get the concept. What they've done is they've taken Pilates and they've taken group training, and then they have the bar around the sides of the room. I think the one thing
It's so disrespectful to real dancers.
I know a lot of dancers that they've walked into bar classes and they've gone out pretty unhappy. And I've had the same experience, not because the instructors aren't great. You know, it's still a great workout, but you do essentially a lot of the same things you would do with a group fitness trainer. Squats, they take the balls and they'll
There's no balls in ballet class, asshole.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, so
everything's trying to be so integrated, and they're just trying, like she said, the
everything
next
does not
fitness
need to
bag.
be mixed.
Yeah.
Like, some things need to be segregated in their own right.
Yeah.
I think that just, I mean, not by color, but by segregated. That's what the word means. I mean, if you want to take it to racial, that's up to you. But I'm just saying, as far as like fitness is concerned, and we had that conversation before about like what real Zumba is, and and how it's been whitewashed, and it has been completely. I don't even know what it is. It is essentially almost like a hip hop class, opposed to like real Zumba.
I think so my trainer for that was the creator, because I did it back in 05. No, 06. I'm old. No, not old. But
Quick question: do you know was the lady Maria Browning? Oh, okay, because I was gonna say she said she did her back with the creators here or something. Okay, I know.
Yep. Yeah. So and I think with the training, the bigger you get, that's a sign of success. So they're a successful company. They also have 3 people that are divided running a company. It's not just one man. So, you have the face, which is the dancer guy, Beto. And then you've got the guy who makes the decisions on paper and says, we're going to charge them this much. They have, there's bad guy, good guy. There's all these things when it's not one owner. And that's one thing I realized, like, it's hard when you're one owner because everybody knows they can try to come to you. It's funny, I saw an Instagram post because I have to shout out. Can I shout out? Yeah. Berries by Keisha. Have you guys had them?
Oh, I've seen that. I follow that page, but I never had them.
Who's Keisha? Why don't I have any berries?
She is a small business owner in Baltimore. Has done amazing for herself. And she literally does these like gorgeous strawberry creations. She's got a location.
If you ever want to swing by the studio and let us have a sample.
She's amazing. But sometimes I'll see different posts from different business owners. And one thing I saw, when you're a business owner, you have to watch what you say. You have to watch everything you do, because it's going to affect your business. Doesn't matter if you're feeling a certain way, you better shut it, because you got to pay the bills. But I think I believe it would have been her, but I saw a post that said, support small business, support minority business without asking for a discount. And
this is the time where you get a collection plate. This is the preaching hour, because I feel like it is disgusting. Because it's like when you go other places,
you're not gonna
and they don't help. Even like I'll just give you an example. So Jordan does meal prepping. He's an amazing cook, and this guy, I cursed him out so badly because it pissed me off so much. This man drives a Mercedes. He flashes all this money. I don't know what kind of life he lives, and I really don't care. So the man asked me, can he try the food? And I said, yes. It's called a sampler. So we had like a little small sampler where you paid to try the food. He's like, no, I want you to pay for it. So when I'm thinking, like, when you walk into Ruth Chris, when you walk into Fridays, do you say, can I have a piece of your chicken first before I know that it's actually good or not? Yeah. So why don't we have that same concept for everyone else? And it's like, they see you working so hard. They see that this is your baby. And somehow their dumbasses still figure out a way to try to maneuver for a discount or a sample or something. And it's like, it's not like you're going to sponsor me. It's not like you're going to advertise me. You just want free stuff. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. People like that, let me tell you, fuck you. Flat. And if you feeling salty, dip yourself in some soup. Because you don't do stuff like that.
You got some gems today. Feel a little beige rain.
So funny.
Yep. Nice skin.
So and back to the bar class, because do you guys don't use the balls, do you? Because I'm not gonna show up.
We don't.
Because I saw it on Instagram and I was like, damn, a real bar class. Because I was, you know how certain gyms have like IG and stuff now, they're doing social media. And so I saw the balls and I'm like, bar class. So I Googled it because I was like, maybe I'm slow. And so I'm like, no, this is exactly what I want to do because I miss ballet. As an adult, there's not a lot of adult ballet classes or a lot of adult dance classes. So I'm like, okay, I want to lose weight, get healthy. I thought that would be a great way to go back to doing things that I used to love as a kid. And then when I looked on these gyms, I'm like, what is this? This is not what Google said this is. It doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. So I wanted to ask because I wanted to try a class, but if you had the balls, I was going to say no.
Yes, we don't use the balls. And I get why they do because the certain exercises they do, but I'll be honest, I've been in this industry for 15 plus years. Like anything you do, if I went over there and started doing jumping jacks, it's gonna make me sweat. So kudos to anyone that's going out and taking a class, whether it's pure bar, because there's all these different styles of bar now. But
what?
I know. So like technically, I think a lot of the bar that we teach, it's based on what you would do if you were in a ballet class. Now you never have to taken it before.
Yes.
But we stick to the positions. Yeah, we're big on alignment. Pretty much getting that the feel and the motion going. But for example, a lot of our students have like half of our rooms have never taken dance, but they could definitely like land in first plie and like know the difference between like just they and to the point. And it's not a hard thinking class, so I don't want to like disturb any beginners, but we're beginner friendly in the fact that most of my instructors, we don't expect you to be a dancer coming in, but we're gonna show you what it feels like because we're passionate dancers,
right? And everything.
Yeah.
So do you think that people actually can be real dancers? Because there's some people, unfortunately, that have no rhythm, and so do you think that being a can you actually be taught being a dancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I do get scheduled for private lessons, and I had one gentleman, and I got a phone call because he wanted private lessons. Really sweet white guy came in, and Barry, we're gonna call him Barry. It's just so Barry. And he came in, and he was like, first of all, he was a total gentleman, and he was like, I really want to like learn. I want to learn movement, how to do hip hop. He's like, I need to do it. I was like, okay. So I worked with him. He's not going to be in like wildebeest videos, but like yes, oh my gosh. But he found in himself a way to like learn and love dancing and not be scared of it, because I find a lot of people that are like scared of dancing. Oh, I'm not gonna get up. My boyfriend. Who are like, oh, I'm gonna
Jordan.
I'm gonna look down. But he literally found that he can have the courage to get up there, and nothing you do is wrong. Like that for me was success. But when he mentioned to me on our last session that the reason he got classes was because he was diagnosed with MS. And within a year, he would not be able to do
any of this.
Anything.
Wow.
And that kind of changed. I've had a lot of experiences, but that one sticks out because, like, just the fact that, like, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow, like, and I have people that come into class and they're like, I don't even know what I'm trying. Why not? Just try it. Just try it. Just do it. No one's watching you. I promise no one's watching you. They want you to do good because they don't know what they're doing either. Like, that's a big, like, so, the teacher messes up too. It happens in every single class around the world.
So how do you feel when you, like Dancing with the Stars? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, if you watch it, like...
I'll be honest. I don't watch TV. I don't have time. And it's
I thought you
just
were saying,
true.
to be honest, I hate it.
Oh my gosh. I don't get time to watch TV, but I love the program Dancing with the Stars. It gave, and I guess because I see it from the dancer side, it gave a ton. For years it's given ballroom dancers a chance to be on TV, whereas normally you train, you buy a $4,000 costume $500 pair of shoes. Those things are very expensive. And then you go up on a stage, but people don't get it televised. It really has brought the ballroom dance world up in people's eyes, and it's created jobs for more ballroom dancers. A couple of them are now talk show hosts, actors, you know.
Right.
Once they would have stopped, if they had stayed in these little studios around the United States, you know, as soon as they're in their 50s, 60s, now they're going to teach senior classes. They're not going to be able to use their bodies for anything else like that. So, to that extent. So, but yeah, I love the program. The other one, So You Think You Can Dance. I don't follow it anymore, but I was livid, like, watching it all the time when I had time.
What did you try out for?
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything. Yes. Yes, I tried out for Seeing You Dance Season 2 and Season 3.
Oh,
So, yeah, it was definitely an experience. Yeah, you need some sleep for stuff like that. But, yeah, it's a long process. I thought it was like some short little thing. No.
It's just edited.
Yeah, very edited. And you have to wear the same stuff, like, day in, like, while you're there. And I was like, I don't have work shirt. Like, I'm here in a hotel. Like,
You got hand washers.
I mean, yeah. I was like, yeah.
What style of dance?
I teach hip hop.
Okay.
That's good. Where do you teach it?
I actually teach in Dundalk. It's a World Performing Arts Center. So I've been there for the last 10 years.
Okay.
I teach kids.
Oh,
so,
God bless you.
let me tell you.
Claim on your taxes. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I wish I could, but let me tell you, every Thursday when I come home, I make sure I have at least 2 to 3 glasses of wine when I'm done.
Absolutely.
I need it. I definitely need it.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So what do you say to people who want to get into the field of dance? Because a lot of times dancers, you know, they go to school for it and then they try to move to California and they like bum it out and they try to like get these auditions and try to be like a Chris Brown backup dancer, and then it's like, fuck it, then I'll have to like work at a gym. And it's like, unfortunately, dancers, I feel like, go through so many stages because it's not something that's a requirement. You know what I mean? And so, like, what would you say for people who, like, I want to do this, but I don't know what to do?
I'll be honest. I can't, and I feel bad saying that. I don't know that I could give any safe advice because my initial way was I'm going to go to college for dance, and then I'm going to go to New York, and I want to be a dancer on Broadway. That was my goal, and I didn't do it that way. But nowadays, things have changed. From that, again, I feel like I'm old. No, but you know, things have definitely changed where social media is different now today than it was when I was in school. I've talked to a couple of women that you know, I won't quote them because they're big people. But question? Okay. They're big people. So I won't quote them, but they're people that have danced for Beyonce and you know, Usher. Like they've been in the trade, and even they've told me, like, you know, honestly, social media has become such a big thing now that literally, you know, you've got agencies like Clear Talent, Block Talent Agency, that when the dancers come in, they say, well, how many people follow you?
Right.
And because, you know, when they go to a show, that means all their friends are going to sell tickets to come see even just the dancers.
Right. Absolutely.
So, you know, now I know, you know, if you feel like you want to dance and you've got your heart set on it, I say hands down for me, if I were telling, like, if I had a daughter and she was like, I want to dance, and I had to speak personally to her, I would say then we got to move to New York, we got to move to LA or Georgia, and we got to get you, if you're going to go to school, you're going to go to school there, and then in your spare time, you're going to go to dance classes nonstop in these areas, so you're with that group. You know, and you can do both. You can have that degree to fall back on and do this, but I don't think, you know, I thought, oh, you have to go to university and study dance. That's not the way it is. Yeah, it does. That's just 4 years of time. Maybe you got a degree under your belt, but while you're doing that, the world is hungry, and in the dance world, like, that's just the way it is. It's fast.
Right.
So
do you think, opposed to going to college, building a portfolio is, you know, instead of spending 4 years, you know, taking a gym class, you can be out there building your portfolio, like moving and just engulfing yourself into that culture.
Yeah, literally, I feel like nowadays you just have to do both at the same time. So, and I feel like there's a lot of people who have like supportive families. So, you know, I know families that have moved to other states so that their kids can do that.
Yeah. Support your kids, parents. Support the dream.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. It really nowadays and probably forever. It's probably just everything you hear back is it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Absolutely. That's in every field of life.
Yeah.
No matter what aspect you go into.
Right.
Because it only takes that one person to know that one person. They just make a call and it's just like, hey.
Yeah.
Nepotism is really great, and you know, make some calls.
I have a question. Yeah. So do you think it's a age limit on when you can start? And do your body starts to go through different changes where you can't move like you used to move?
I'll be honest, when I was first starting, I used to know this instructor that she was, I mean, everybody, her classes were the ones you go to. Mm-hmm. She was like a fireball. And I started teaching class at the same time, and she was like, honey, and at the time, you know, I was 18, and she was like, just wait. She's like, when you get older, your body's not going to heal the way it used to. Mm-hmm. I haven't hit that point yet, but for example, the women that I've talked to that have danced in the industry, they've been in music, they've been on tours. Mm-hmm. They've literally, you know, their doctors are saying, you can't wear heels to walk anymore. Wow. And, you know, they got to get used to it. Mm-hmm. You know, your body, it just doesn't recover the same. Thank God I haven't hit that point yet, but
you gotta start running them kittens.
But it's like, yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Tissues. But definitely, I don't want to say there's an age because I mean, I have dance instructors that I look up to and adore that are in their 60s, and they are phenomenal. But they're phenomenal in their class. Can they match up against 6 hours of a dance, audition from someone that's half their age? They're like, oh, I'm not hungry, you know. but they're, you know, and they're downing like pizza, cheeseburgers. A lot of women in the commercial industry that I know that are professionals that are teach out in LA, they don't eat fast food. It's that they can't.
They shouldn't.
They can't. Yeah, they don't eat. Yeah, they don't eat meat. They don't, and it's like versus, you know, you go out of
you put too far. You put too far.
You go out of yeah, if you go out of a dance studio now in New York, you know, these kids can go down the street and eat whatever they want. It doesn't matter. So
metabolism don't care.
Yeah, so you can do it. And again, I've seen people that just they beat the odds. But I can't really say if there's a certain age that you can't stop. I still know people in their 40s. I see them every day at Towson Dance Studio. Check them out. That they're in their 40s and they're doing splits all the time, every day. You know, so that's, you know, it's really just sticking with something and making sure you don't stop doing it. I think that's hard when the minute you stop.
The restart is going to be much worse.
Yeah, that's the stage I'm at now.
Restart.
I stopped and
I mean, you're like 7. Like, you don't count.
I'm getting up there.
It's
hard to get back into the rhythm once you stop.
Yeah. But I mean, you make time for it and you go hard for it. So, what is the best way people can contact you and they want to sign up for a dance class? And
I'm interested.
I want to try this bar class. Then I know it's no balls.
Yes.
Those squeezy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like a ballet bar.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The bar table is literally the bar.
Oh yes.
I'm not trying to work for Hooters.
That's a different class.
I thought there was more like practice tools. I mean, the thought crossed my mind, but like I said, I grew up in dance, so.
So you don't know what
I was making sure. I didn't know if it evolved into something different.
Yeah. So what is it?
So I was like, why is there a hype?
Definitely, you know, we have our Instagram, Moves Dance Workout. That's Moves with a Z. And then we have like a Facebook, but the best place is going to be our website, which is gotmoveswithaz.net. You can find all the different classes that we offer there in different areas. We're actually getting ready to start. We have started offering classes in DC now, which are like really being received really well, which is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've heard that's
Location.
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, definitely.
And you get to see the whole schedule for, like, do you have like a monthly schedule or a weekly schedule?
Yep, it's weekly, but it's put up the month in advance.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we gotta check you out.
Yeah.
I gotta do this bar class, and I want to do a soca sweat.
Yeah,
I think that would be awesome. Really, really dope.
Slow down.
We gotta check her out. So I want to thank you for joining us. I appreciate you so much.
Thank
and
you
people
so
who are
much.
trying to lose some weight and want to shake their ass, I would definitely say check her out.
Come on out.
Yes, come on out. So for Astery this week, Alexis said that she started her own business. I don't know what it is, but she believes that her friend doesn't support her business, and she wants to know, should she cut them off? Yes.
Are they really your friends?
Are they really your friend?
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. But the number one thing, I think that happens a lot in our culture, where our family and friends don't really support our businesses as much as they should.
Right.
You support Chinaman, and
but you
the
support
white
this
man.
and that. And I'm not saying that I don't know if it's necessarily hate, but
Yeah.
it's just like they're not as supportive.
I just feel like it's a couple of things. I feel like we've been so conditioned to go to school and work, get a 401k, and then die. And then other cultures are taught to, like, whatever you believe in, you need to work in that. And we'll support you in that. And I think that it's low-key jealousy, because I feel like a lot of times when you tell people that I'm doing something, they give you the first failing statistic, opposed to giving you the positive I can't say it. Statistic. And so it's like, even like with me starting a podcast, somebody was just like, oh, everyone has a podcast. And I was like, yeah, just like everyone has a car. It doesn't mean that we're going the same way.
Right.
So, so people will always try to like tear you down, whether you want to be a nurse, a doctor, whatever it is. Someone's always going to say like, oh, well, so-and-so. I'm like, okay, well, so-and-so, good for so-and-so. Nice. What the fuck they got to do with me? So I really feel like you have friends that really support you. I've known Brittany since I was 10 years old. I've been friends with a lot of people who've been on this show since I've been a kid. And so I'm really, really grateful to have really genuine friendships with people where I don't even have to ask. They just do. Brittany walked into a store. Brittany walked into a store. Was it the Apple store or Target? What was it? I don't know. It was a picture, and she just downloaded on like a dummy phone of the show, and she just like
Apple store.
And she just screenshotted it to me, and I was like, "Yo, like I love you."
Best Buy, I did.
And Best Buy, yeah.
See, that's real love.
And that's love. You know what I mean? And I really feel like Alexis, like you'll be surprised when you step out on your own who really is for you, because I think a lot of times people are your friends until you start surpassing them, and you get to really separate who is who. And so like when we're all in the same pond, we're all little ducks, like, oh, we all cool. But then when you start going and start venturing off, then the other little ducks are just mad. And so like it sucks. It's gonna hurt your feelings, especially people you know for a very long time. But you have to also remember, like, you have to live in your own truth. And you have to do what's gonna make you happy. And if you're passionate about something, like, go for it. You can't let past friendships be anchors, in your life. And like I said, like, cut them the fuck off. Like, you'll get new friends.
No, don't cut your friends off. You just no, you're not gonna just tell this woman to cut her friends off.
Why?
Why not?
Because if they're your friends, they're your friends.
But if they're not supporting you,
and you know their role, you're start like she's saying, you're out the pond, so you know what channels that these people are in your life and where they should be. Well, so you got to go make some new friends.
Well, exactly, but you need to cut off the
previous
like as you move on. Like, I mean, some people have friends like she said, she had friends from like childhood on up, and they're still here. But during your journey, you start to go through different paths. Like, if I want to be an entrepreneur, just like I have a friend Brittany that started entrepreneurship. She said that very thing. Like, when she started this journey, she seen who some of her friends were, like who's with the process and who is not. And some people just not gonna understand. But she had to like start making new friends. But the old friends, they kind of fell off. Like, when you start making new friends, the old people, you don't want somebody constantly being negative.
Absolutely.
When you have something that you're trying to do positive.
Right.
So yeah, she could cut them off.
Negging you down like that.
Yeah.
Then obviously they don't have a place in the current you. But if they're just not.
That's
being,
what we're saying.
But it's like different levels.
What's happening?
You're like saying
you launch your event. You say like, look, I'm starting this new business. Like I want to start doing like natural skin care products, whatever. And I launch my event, and I tell people months in advance, save this date, and then I give samples. I hold like little things that try to give them samples, and they don't, really support it. They still buying their, other brands, whatever, and never use your stuff, or they don't make it out to your event. I'm gonna take that kind of personal, and I'm cutting them off because it's like clearly they don't support me, and they're not for me, and we just can't move forward in this stage of life because I'm starting something new, a new journey, and if you can't come along with this journey, then I don't need you if you're not gonna support me.
And I think what Jordan's trying to say is, you shouldn't cut your friends off if they're neutral. So it's almost like if they're not being negative, like being negative is one thing, but if they're being neutral and not saying anything, you shouldn't cut them off. But let me explain something to you.
Even that.
I don't think it's right either.
So, but are you saying this? Say for instance, like Sarita's podcast. She has friends. She has friends in different realms. Some people like vulgarness. They might not be with it, so they might support her, but they might not listen to the podcast. Are you saying that? So she shouldn't cut them off because necessarily this particular podcast is not for them?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying, and
is that what you're saying?
I am more on the lines with that.
Okay.
Because it's like, like you were saying, your butter might not be for everybody.
Right. My butter, yeah.
But if you don't share the butter, you won't even know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like if the show, because I am who I am, I'm never going to change. So my thing is, if the show is a representation of myself, so if we're friends and you don't like the show, that means you don't like me. Because there's nothing about me that's not engraved in this show. And I feel like a lot of things in other people's businesses is a part of who they are. So if you don't like their business, essentially you're saying you don't fuck with that person. Because every ounce in cell and blood, sweat, and tears is in that business.
Right, so what Sarita's saying is like, if you're my friend, you need to support me no matter what.
Yeah, but it's kind of unfair.
But well, here's the thing. You got to give a little bit and then like
I mean,
so
I feel like
not every episode I'm gonna listen to if I don't.
No, it's like you're saying, like for like a clear example with the podcast, some of it is like, a little controversial. A lot of people can't buy that. And some people can't. Like some people who like you don't like all of you. And it's just facts.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like one of your friends might like want to hear this particular show, but they might not want to listen to the whole face show.
They might not be able to do that, or their job prevents them.
Right, so
but even still, you're still going to be able to market the podcast because although it's not for you, it doesn't mean that you can't let people aware of what's going on.
Like,
your friends should support you.
Right, that's just like if you had
Brittany did. Like,
right, that's just like Brittany does pure romance, right?
Idea.
And a lot of people I might not particularly like sex toys, but guess what? If I hear something that is about that subject, or I feel like, for her to get sales or whatever, even if it's a massage oil, I'm like, yo, you need to hit Brittany up. Because this is what she does. This is her business. This is her baby. So same thing with you. Like if you're cooking, and even though I might meal prep my own food, I'm still gonna put money in your pocket and support
examples to show the point. So it'll be like, let's see, we do two. I'm gonna give you two examples real quick. The cooking, all right?
Okay.
I cook meat. Let's say you a vegan. You my best friend.
She has friends that eat meat.
That's what I'm saying. We're like, I'm just using an extreme example.
Okay.
I'm cooking. I cook meat. I like meat, but one of my best friends is vegan. They don't support what I'm doing. They really are against what I'm doing. But I gotta cut them off now. They got cut me off.
Not that line. It's more so like when this question is more so like, say for instance, she started her business. Besides the food and whatever,
and
let's just say clothing business, because my boyfriend has one. So he has friends. He started his clothing business. He may give you, clothes. You might not like it, whatever, but you're gonna still say you're still gonna support him in the sense of like, okay, I might buy one thing from you, or I might tell my friends about you,
Or
my
just take a
family
picture,
about
like-
you, or take a picture, you know, like,
Something.
and just say, hey, my friend just started this business, go support them. You don't even have to do it. She's not asking you to be a market, but if this is something, I think her question is more aligned, like,
They don't
her
fuck with
friends
her,
just
period.
like, oh, you starting a business? Why you doing that?
There's a way
It's
to
not
find-
gonna get you nowhere.
Right.
Yes.
This everybody's doing this, and a lot of people do that in our community. It's like versus saying, "Oh, okay, you starting a business? Yeah, I'm gonna support you. Oh, I'm gonna tell
Or
everybody
you
about
know,
you.
I
Or
know
I'm-
this person.
I know that. Yeah,
And I
get
can put you on,
connected.
and it's so crazy because reading the 48 Laws of Power, if you have not read that book, please do, because
What
it will
is it?
change your mind. 48 Laws of Power. And it always says that you're 3 people away.
Mm-hmm.
So if one person knows one person, it can get you to whoever you need to
Right.
be. So just that picture, even just like with Diamond, if Diamond's boyfriend is like, okay, I want to start a clothing line business, and I know somebody who makes shirts, like actually has a printing press, and I can say, you know what, I'm gonna exchange numbers and they can work that out. It doesn't necessarily have to be this whole debacle of you falling out on social media. It can just be as far as expansion. It can be as something as renting a space. It can be as something as just connecting people to make your business thrive. And I think that is probably Alexa's issue, that not only they probably giving her negative shit, they're also not even giving her the connections or the tools for her to be more resourceful. So I would say have a
Not showing
conversation with them.
interest.
Yeah, like
You know?
Like, I get that. So me personally, I'm going to be on the side of, like, have you thought this all the way through type of thing. No matter what.
Well,
your
even
dream
if
is.
you ask those questions, like,
Yeah.
oh, you want to start a business? Okay, what's your business plan? Whatever. It's more or less like they're probably just not showing
supportive.
interest.
Isn't
like,
it at all?
oh, you starting a business?
Yeah.
All right.
oh, okay, whatever. Just like
Don't
not taking
ask
it
her about it.
seriously.
How's it going? This and that.
Do you need help with
Do you-
anything?
right.
Is there anything that I can do? And I will say this. When you have real friends, the first thing that they will ask is, what can I do to help you
Absolutely.
succeed? So whether it is a marketing, whether it's connections, whether it's buying the product, you know, if you are not asking that question of what can I do to help you succeed, then you really do need to
I just
cut
feel
them
like you
off.
got to make a decision whether you are okay with having people that aren't real friends. Like, can you just have friends?
No, that's
No.
the point. So that's what
Friends in the
I'm
place,
saying.
like, how many
Look,
real
we're in a
friends do you
stage
need?
of we're in a era of life where having people around that's not really for you or
Yeah.
have your best interest, you shouldn't even have them. It's
Protect
no
your
need.
energy.
Right. It's
Protect
just like you need to make your circle small
Right.
and
So you go on the numbers game. Like, there's 1 billion people. Find the people that are all about you, and
Not-
that's it.
No,
Well,
not necessarily
about
obsessed, but I'm
you,
just saying.
but just like connect with you. That they like the same things in life. They
Right.
they have the same positivity in life that you're going to.
So you
Because if you got somebody, like I had to cut a lot of people off from
Yeah.
like, I have a different friend. I have probably only Mariah from childhood. And yeah, she's my childhood friend, the only one that I kind of like stuck with. And then I have a friend from high school that I'm still cool, Chelsea and Dejanay, I'm still cool with. But a lot of the other people that I used to hang with in high school, and that, I don't even talk to them. So it's not the fact that we
Don't get on
fell out.
Right.
It was just a matter of we just went through two
Right, so
different
there's no
paths
malice or
in life,
anything.
and it's
No.
like you gotta cut people off as you grow. As you grow, people still
Yeah,
do
when
the
you
same
say cut
thing.
people off, I think people take that as in a
Yeah.
derogatory way.
Not
It just
like,
means
I'm
that
like-
this relationship is not thriving. We're just
Right.
at a point in our lives where we have what we have. You know, you taught me some things, we've been through some things, and I can appreciate for who you are. But as far as moving forward in my life, I don't think that this is a good fit for either of us, because a friendship is a give and take.
Right.
So we have to benefit from each other. So if we're not benefiting from each other, then it's kind of like pointless.
Right.
So Alexis, I would at least have a conversation with them before you cut them off, just to make them aware of their actions and behaviors.
Yeah, because they might not even not.
They probably
might
don't
not
even know.
They probably don't even know that she feels this way, and they probably don't think that they're not supporting it. They probably really do like the idea of her business, but she probably feels this type of way. So yeah,
Conversation. You got to give
communication
people
is the key.
the opportunity to change their ways to make it right to you, and if they don't, then don't fuck
Yeah,
with them.
you see
So.
where their heart
I can
lies.
Yeah.
agree with that move. I just came in here. We cutting them off. I don't like what they got to say.
No, it's not that. So
Y'all got
Alexis,
the
I hope that
dialogue, you know.
that works out for you. So for our words of wisdom this week, it is, as long as you keep a person down, some part of you has to be down there to hold them down. So it means you cannot soar as you otherwise might. And that is from Marian Anderson. So long story short is you don't get no fucking where being a hater.
Another way to put it.
You don't get nowhere in life being a hater. So the more you put other people down, it has to be something within yourself. You're probably self-projecting, and that's why you're being a hater. So if you want to achieve things in life, you gotta focus and stay in your own lane. Because if you going out your way to ruin someone else's demise, you actually are creating your own because you're distracted. So once again, you don't go nowhere being a fucking hater. And if you are, get yourself together, self-reflect, and figure out where the jealousy is coming from. And a lot of times it's because you aren't in their shoes and you want to be. So just cut it out and just become a better person. Work on yourself so you won't have to go out your way to get revenge or just be a petty-ass person because you're salty. So, and Marian Anderson is the first black woman to actually perform in the Metropolitan Opera. She was actually forbidden in 1939 to perform at the Constitution Hall. So people like her, when they say stuff like that, you know, overcoming obstacles and not allowing negativity to get them down. Because what if when they tore her down in 1939, she was like, oh, I'm never going to sing again because I'm black. You know, so even when somebody has their foot on your neck, you have to always just keep pushing and keep grinding because eventually they'll become your footstool. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming today. Adelicia had to go. She had to teach a class, but shout out to her. Please check her out on her IG and figure it out. I might have like a little video of us actually performing the class. I'm going to go to that bar class. And I'm going to force Brittany to go to the soca class even though she doesn't want to.
Maybe I could do the bar instead of soca. Like,
Do the soca.
You don't move those heads. So I'm excited for this episode. So I want to thank everyone for coming. And this is Bitch Let's Talk.
If you can't get enough of Bitch Let's Talk, you can always follow us on IG and Facebook at BLT Podcast and on Twitter at Bitch Let's Talk. If you want more content and updates on the show, you can always go to our website, bltpodcast.com.